Welcome to the Photos of the Past channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. This image sheds light on one of humanity's darkest moments. During the era of slavery and colonialism, experiments under the guise of science targeted even innocent children. The photo starkly reveals the disregard for human dignity. These two children are just a fraction of the thousands exploited in rubber production in Belgian Congo. Those who dared to resist or failed to meet quotas faced the horrific punishment of losing their limbs. This photo remains a haunting reminder of one of humanity's most shameful atrocities. This image depicts missionary activities in orphanages during the colonial era. Missionaries sought to convert children and adapt them to Western values, systematically erasing indigenous cultures in the process. This photo stands as a testament to cultural dominance masked as charity. This photograph reveals the horrific treatment of Maori people. Colonialists collected tattooed heads, displaying them as exotic artifacts. This was not only cultural plunder, but also a profound violation of humanity, reducing sacred symbols of identity to mere objects of curiosity. This image encapsulates the arrogance and inhumanity of the colonial era. The white man casually uses another human being as if they were a piece of furniture. This haunting photograph starkly illustrates the power imbalances and the utter disregard for human dignity. This photograph starkly depicts the harsh realities of the colonial era. The white man towering above, posed as a figure of superiority, symbolizes the erasure of indigenous cultures, reducing people to mere props in a narrative of domination and exploitation. This iron yoke was designed to prevent slaves from escaping. Each piece was not only a physical restraint, but also a profound strike against human dignity. This image stands as a haunting reminder of one of the darkest chapters in human history, where freedom was systematically stripped away. This photo showcases the cruel dominance of colonialists over indigenous people. While a white man rests in comfort, local porters are forced to carry his weight. This scene starkly illustrates the inequality and inhumane conditions of the colonial era. This image reflects how indigenous people were often reduced to exotic objects during the colonial era. The white woman gazes at them as though they are subjects of curiosity, while the native people silently endure this imbalanced dynamic, embodying the silent pain of oppression. This photograph symbolizes the silent obedience of the slavery era. A kneeling child submits to the woman, a figure of power and control. It starkly illustrates how oppression was imposed even upon the most innocent, embedding dominance in everyday interactions. This image is one of the most striking records of the brutality of slavery. The deep whip scars on Gordon's back are a silent scream of the violence inflicted on human bodies. This haunting photograph lays bare the inhumane reality of slavery, etched forever on his skin. This mask was used to silence and humiliate slaves, denying them the ability to eat, speak, or even breathe freely. It serves as a haunting reminder of the dehumanizing practices during the dark era of slavery. It was more than punishment. It was a tool of control and oppression. This photograph represents the brutal suppression of anti-colonial resistance. The chained indigenous man is one of thousands who refuse to bow to oppression and torture. The armed soldiers beside him stand as symbols of power and fear, highlighting the stark imbalance of the colonial system. Hey, my friend over 50, only 1 out of 100 people subscribes. Be that one, let's keep going. This Kikuyu girl showcases her cultural pride with the rings adorning her neck. However, during the colonial era, images like this were turned into postcards, exoticized and stripped of their true dignity, serving as tools of cultural misrepresentation. This shop represents one of the most shameful chapters in human history, a place where humans were bought and sold like commodities. The man sitting by the door either witnesses the trade or awaits his turn to be the next victim of this dehumanizing practice. This man holds the tools of the slavery system, a whip and chains. His ironic smile contrasts sharply with the history these objects represent, a history of pain, suffering, and oppression endured by millions. It's a chilling reminder of humanity's capacity for cruelty. This photo reflects colonialism's intervention in women's bodies. These women, with their elongated necks deemed exotic, were reduced to spectacles of their culture. The white man in the background stands as a silent symbol of power, dominance, and the dehumanizing gaze of the colonial era. This image captures the exploitation of local laborers in Kenya colony. Walking barefoot through the river, these individuals spent their lives under the burden of heavy loads for colonial masters. Such scenes remain a stark testament to the enduring trials of human dignity throughout history. The scars on this woman's face symbolize the rich cultural heritage of the Bangla people. During colonial times, such marks were labeled as savagery. In truth, they represented identity, bravery, and a deep sense of belonging to her community.